Hey y'all! Pokemon Crystal using only one Sneasel really popped off, so this week let's do something that's sure to give me a migraine. This week, let's see if I can beat Pokemon Red using only one Psyduck. As usual, the rules are I can only use Psyduck in battle, and I can't use any items in battle. By the way, if you like this kind of content and want to see more, be sure to subscribe and check out more of these videos on my channel. Psyduck is a Pokemon best known for being a bit of a goof, but more impressively for gaining telekinetic powers when it gets a headache. Yeesh! If having a headache granted psychic powers in real life, then these challenges would have turned me into a Mewtwo by now. In terms of Psyduck's viability, well, the stats are not very good. And once again, we've got another case where a water-type Pokemon basically only gets water, ice, and normal moves. Far from being great, in fact, it's looking pretty paltry. I like puns and foreshadowing. Alright, no more ducking around, let's get quack-a-lackin'. Off at Professor Oak's lab, I use the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to replace Squirtle with Psyduck so that our rival will pick Bulbasaur. As always, by the end of the game, the rival will have a Venusaur that will be pretty hard for us to take down without getting smashed by critical hit Razor Leafs. Psyduck is famous for three things: being bald, having telekinetic powers, and needing headache medication. So I nickname our Psyduck Professor RX. Psyduck starts off with Scratch, and that's it. Oh yeah, that's not going to be a problem at all. Thank goodness the first rival battle with Bubs is just as Bulbasaur with Tackle and Growl, because if it had Vine Whip, we would have definitely lost. In fact, we almost lost as it were. I'm also realizing now that the rival's choice in Pokemon is thematically appropriate. His Grass-type starter is like a walking herbal remedy, perfect for whenever Psyduck's Bulbasaur. Speaking of migraine headaches, next up is the first gym battle with Brock's Rocks. This is one of those frustrating experiences where we have literally no better option than to level up a ton. We only have access to Scratch until level 28, and our attack is bad, and Scratch is resisted. And even after leveling all the way up to 17, the farthest I ever got was almost knocking out the Geodude. Almost. The other many attempts did not fare as well, so after a lot of grinding, and I mean a lot of grinding, we're back at level 28, and it might seem excessive, but that's the level when Psyduck learns Tail Whip, its second move. Without Tail Whip, there's just no way to beat Onix. Not only does it help us to do a bit more damage, but without the ability to dodge the effects of Bide, there's just no way to win. I don't know if I can convey this to you effectively, but just imagine battling against Kakunas and Pidgeys for literally hours with only Scratch. Just like the challenges with Execute and Coughing, this was not a fun experience. In fact, it was pretty unpheasant. After traversing Mount Moon and regaining a tenuous grasp on my sanity, we head to take on the rival Bubs in Cerulean City. Along the way, we taught Psyduck the TMs for Water Gun and Mega Punch that we picked up in Mount Moon. Wow, could've used that a little earlier, Game Freak! Now that we're such a high level, Bubs doesn't stand a chance, and if that upsets you, don't be mad at me. Blame Brock. With Bubs beaten, I'm off to take on Misty for the Cascade Badge. Her AI is programmed not to use water moves since they're not very effective, despite the fact that they would probably do more damage than Tackle. We win easily after Psyduck Mega Punches Misty's Starfish. Nothing wrong with that sentence. Star me oh my! Leaving that innuendo behind us, it's time to take on the rival Bubs aboard the SS Anne, and I grab the TM for Body Slam and replace Mega Punch. It's slightly stronger, plus has a chance to paralyze. This move helps us to slam through Bubs' team, despite missing a few of them thanks to Pudgeotto's Sand Attack lowering our accuracy. Body Slam and the Bubble Beam TM that we got for beating Misty make this challenge much less of a headache. Normally in runs where we use a water or flying type Pokemon, I avoid Lieutenant Surge until much later, but we're already such a high level that I think we can beat him no sweat. You know, maybe on second thought, I should try not to speak too highly of Psyduck. I don't want to stress it out with lofty expectations and give it a stress migraine. You know, I've heard that caffeine helps with headaches, so maybe Psyduck should try drinking a Peepsy. Huh? Okay, so next up is the rival battle with Bubs in Lavender Town, and along the way, Psyduck learned Confusion. It's a psychic type move, but it's relatively weak, plus it doesn't get the same type attack bonus, contrary to popular belief. At this point, all the people who are watching that are annoyed that Psyduck is overleveled can cool their jets. I had to reset this battle so many times. Most times I couldn't even get past the Gyarados, which uses Dragon Rage to do 40 HP at a time. And even when I managed to make it past that malicious monster, Ivysaur would just knock us out with Razor Leaf. When I finally do knock out the plant, it's only thanks to a critical hit confusion. Just goes to show that extra levels aren't all they're quacked up to be. Speaking of levels not helping, Psyduck still can't take a Razor Leaf from Erica's Victory Bell, so I take a detour to beat up Giovanni in the Rocket Hideout at the Game Quarter in Celadon City so we can get a few extra levels. I grab the TM for Ice Beam from the department store, which will help to deal with Erica in the future. You might be wondering, why not teach Psyduck the TM for Psychic? Let's talk about that while I stumble through beating Erica. As for that battle, we're able to win mostly thanks to a critical hit Ice Beam against her Victory Bell. Okay, back to the rant. For some unbeknownst reason, Psyduck cannot learn Psychic in this game. This just absolutely makes no sense. Psyduck having Psychic powers is even mentioned in the Pokédex, yet Game Freak won't let it learn Psychic. It's totally criminal, and in fact, I suspect foul play. Well, after beating Erica, my options are limited. I got the HM for Surf and taught it to Psyduck, which is not only an upgrade in power, but also how we cross the water. I can't beat Bubs yet in the Silph Company building because of his Venusaur, so I want to get the Volcano badge to boost Special. And I can't beat Blaine, the Fire-type gym leader at the Cinnabar Island gym and get the Volcano badge, because I have to beat Koga first in order to get the Soul badge in order to use Surf outside of battle. Well, after all that, Psyduck's not the only one who's got a headache. Koga is tough, because his Pokemon are bulky, Poison whittles down our health, and Weezing often self-destructs. After many tries, I eventually critical hit his Surf on the Weezing to knock it out before the boom clock ticks down to 0, and before anyone comments that I've won the last 2 gym battles on critical hits, just know that I don't care. Now that we've got Koga's badge, we can surf on over to the Cinnabar Island gym to take on Blaine and get the Volcano badge to boost our Special, so we can hopefully beat Bubs' Venusaur. Blaine's the Fire-type gym leader, and we've got a Duck. So it goes about as well as you'd expect. And yes, technically we knocked out the Arcanine with a critical hit, so that's 3 gym battles in a row that we've stolen. I guess you can call Psyduck a robber ducky. Actually, the crit didn't matter, I just wanted to make that horrible joke. There's nothing you can do to avoid my puns, just like there's nothing left I can do to avoid the Silph Company fight with the rival Bubs. And this one is incredibly difficult. His Gyarados has Dragon Rage, his Alakazam has Psychic, both of which are bad enough, but none of that matters when Razor Leaf from Venusaur always won at KO Psyduck even from full health, thanks to the fact that it always lands a critical hit. I hate to say it, but this battle comes down to persistence and luck. Even when Gyarados gets frozen by Ice Beam, it doesn't matter if Venusaur goes for Razor Leaf. We only get past the Alakazam because it repeatedly spams Recover and our Body Slam does slightly more than half of its HP. In the end, after everything, including innumerable resets, we eventually win because Venusaur forgoes Razor Leaf and instead uses Leech Seed. And it's not exactly like I have other options, because we don't really have a move to badge boost with in this run. Battles like this really just come down to the duck of the draw. And since Giovanni is an easy battle, I'll take this opportunity to address the whole badge boost thing. In this game, every time your stats are modified either up or down in battle, the stat boost you get from your badges are reapplied. So for instance, if we had Harden, we could use it and our defense would raise 1 stage like normal, but then we'd also get additional stat boost for whichever badges we currently have. The problem is that Psyduck doesn't learn any moves that can modify its own stats. But hey, we can use Mimic to copy other Pokemon's moves to modify stats, right? Well, the problem is that we can't get Mimic until we beat the battle with Giovanni, who sucks, by the way. At this point, we have to take on Sabrina at the Saffron City Gym. And I thought about teaching Psyduck Mimic just to copy Psychic so that our web-footed wonder can finally have its time to shine, but in the end, I decided to save that TM for later and doom Psyduck to the same cruel fate which Game Freak doomed it all those years ago. As for the battle, I'm confident that 9 times out of 10, Psyduck wins this because her Pokemon all have bad defense and Body Slam is very strong. But Sabrina definitely got robbed this time. Not only were we paralyzed, but we landed 3 critical hits against her Pokemon, including her Alakazam, which also never went for Psychic. In fact, in this battle with the Psychic-type gym leader, not a single Psychic was used. That's false advertising. Heh, more like the Psych gym leader. The final gym battle with Giovanni in the Viridian City Gym is incredibly easy. All of his Pokemon go down in a single surf except Nidoqueen, but not even that queen can slay our Psyduck. After all of these challenges, one mystery has yet to be solved. Why is Giovanni such a bad trainer? Many have pondered, but no one has yet to quack the case. As ducks are wont to do, I followed all the breadcrumbs until finally, after much consideration, I arrived at the only logical conclusion. Giovanni is in fact a turd. And with life's greatest mystery solved and 8 gym badges in hand, the only thing standing between us and the Elite Four is another rival battle with Bubs. Now that we finally have access to Mimic, I teach it to Psyduck, because believe you me, we're gonna need it for this battle. Pidgeot comes out and I immediately Mimic Agility, and then knock it out with Ice Beam before setting up any boosts. That's because we level up after knocking out Pidgeot, and had we used Agility, we would have lost any additional badge boosts when we leveled up. With 3 additional badge boosts from Agility, we're not hitting much harder than before, but more importantly, we're able to outspeed Bubs' Pokemon. Otherwise, we give the Alakazam and Venusaur extra chances to clip our wings. Speed also helps when Ice Beam freezes the Venusaur, meaning that we don't get attacked at all. Huzzah! Well, alright, here are the stats going into the Elite Four. You know, level 52 is not too high, and even then our stats are pretty bad anyways. And would you look at that? The moveset for this water Pokemon is once again water, ice, and normal moves. Hindsight is fun! First up is Lorelei, and since I know I'll be needing badge boost to win this battle, I make sure to get just enough experience to hit level 53. That way we avoid leveling up during the battle and losing our badge boosts. Up first is Dugong, and right away you'll notice the major problem with Lorelei's team. Our best moves are water-ice types, and she's got a team of water-ice types, which resist water-ice types, and if I say water-ice one more time, I'm gonna have to end this video early and go get myself some Rita's Italian water ice. Cravings aside, Lorelei's AI wants to avoid using resisted moves, so her Dugong spams Growl, which lowers our attack. More importantly, it badge boosts the rest of our stats. But even with those badge boosts, you can see we're barely doing any damage at all. Several times I lost this battle simply because I ran out of PP for our attacks. Once we get to the Slowbro though, things get a little bit better. We're able to mimic Amnesia, which lets us not only badge boost, but also maximize our special stat. The only downside is that Slowbro also uses Amnesia, making it very bulky and taking barely any damage even after all of our boosts. This battle devolves into 2 opposing sides of forgetful foes attacking each other and not getting much done. Kinda like our Geriatric Congress! After one heckin' filibuster, Slowbro finally faints, and Psyduck is able to smash the Jinx. Even with all the boosts, Lapras is still a 2-hit KO, which is just enough opportunity for it to use Confuse Ray and almost cheat us out of our constitutional right to win this battle. I know that technically this metaphor doesn't make complete sense, but then again, neither do politics. After Lorelei is Bruno. I used an elixir to restore our BP, and then I used a rare candy, since I planned on using badge boost in this battle. When I got into the battle though, I thought, you know, for once, let's take pity on Bruno and just attack without badge boosting to overkill. Well, that was a mistake. Just goes to show that Bruno does not deserve your pity. On the very next attempt, I immediately mimic Harden so we can badge boost like gangbusters. Once we're all badgy boosty, there is no stopping us. Bruno's Pokemon get washed away by the tide like the sea scum they are. Oh, I'm sorry, little Bruno. Am I being a little mean to you? Did I hurt your little feelings? Ooh. Too bad, homie. You brought this upon yourself, nerd! Next up is Agatha, and this is one of those instances where a little bit of planning goes a long way. Way back in Cerulean City, we got access to the TM for Dig, and I could have taught it to Psyduck right then, but I figured I'd be using Mimic later, and I thought that Body Slam was more useful for longer in the run. However, now that we're at the last 3 battles, Body Slam has served its purpose, and now we need the power of excavation, you dig? Agatha's ghosts have high special, but they have low physical defense and are weak to ground, so I replace Body Slam with Dig and head into the battle. Even so, I lost the first couple of attempts thanks to Dig missing the 1 KO on the Gengars and then Agatha doing all her really aggravating stuff. So I used rare candies to tack on just enough levels to make the lead Gengar a 1 KO. At which point, I won on the very next attempt. And I'm not complaining. But look, I already know that by deleting Body Slam, I'm going to make beating Lance's Gyarados much more difficult. However, you can call me crazy, and you can call Psyduck a loon, but I'll do anything to make the Agatha battle easier. Next up is the Elite 4 member Lance. I make sure to heal up, restore all of our BP, and then use a rare candy to level up and reset our experience. If I were going for consistency and not purely entertainment value, I rightfully should have leveled up Psyduck even more before this battle. His various Pokemon's Hyper Beams can do a lot of damage, especially from the Gyarados. But, as with all of these challenges, as long as we win, it's good enough for me. Psyduck comes right out of the gate and immediately freezes the Gyarados before we take any damage. Pokemon can't unfreeze on their own in this game, so that's awesome! Then my plan is to set up 2 agilities on the Dragonair for speed and badge boost. I figure I'll set up at least 1 agility and a second if the Hyper Beam happens, since it requires a recharge turn. In a crazy turn of events though, Dragonair repeatedly misses Hyper Beams, letting Psyduck set up and sweep Lance's entire team without taking a single point of damage. I mean, it's a good thing you don't have to pay for good luck in this game, otherwise we'd never be able to foot the bill. The bill. Oh, these duck puns are killing me inside. Finally, it's time to take on the champion, our rival Bubs. We use our Max Elixir to restore all of our BP, and then use all of our remaining rare candies, both for levels and to reset our experience. I also go ahead and replace Ice Beam with Blizzard and max out its HP. Then I replace Dig with Mega Kick to help with the Gyarados and max out its BP. I know the thought of Psyduck dropkicking anything, let alone a giant sea serpent, is a bit ridiculous, but trust me, it helps. The battle with Bubs begins, and right away you can see why Blizzard is regarded as one of the best moves in this game. Remember that we need to get to the last Pokemon Venusaur with full health to even stand a chance of winning. So the only strategy that works consistently is to freeze the Alakazam and then Mimic Recover to restore our health back to full. That might seem cheap, but just remember that Blizzard has a 1/3 chance to freeze the target when it hits, which when you factor in the 10% chance to miss, is basically the same probability for Alakazam to land a critical hit. Seems pretty fair to me. After that, I purposefully waste time on the Rhydon, hoping it will badge boost us with Leer and Tail Whip. The Gyarados comes out, and thanks to all of our badgy boosties, Mega Kick actually does a decent amount of damage against it. See? Told you it'd be useful. Unfortunately, we level up right before his last Pokemon, the Venusaur, meaning we lose our badge boosts. So not only do we no longer 1 KO with Blizzard, but we also won't outspeed, meaning a 2-hit KO with Blizzard leaves us open to getting knocked out. Oh, so close to fall so short. Several attempts later and I'm back at the Venusaur. We still leveled up and lost our badge boost, but somehow we ended up outspeeding anyways? Yeah, it turns out that our Psyduck speed ties Bub's Venusaur, and we simply lost the speed ties before. This time, Bub goes for the 2-turn Solar Beam, and we win a second speed tie to knock it out, winning the battle. And with that, the challenge is over. Psyduck might not be the best Pokemon, and yeah, its head looks like a pizza crust bubble that's about to burst, but still, it's got a lot of character, and I really enjoyed playing with it. I can't believe it took me this long on the channel to use Psyduck. Oh well, feather late than never. Well, as always, I want to thank you for making it to the end of this video. These videos are a lot of fun, but also a lot of work, so I really do appreciate it. There's a playlist on my channel where you can find the rest of my Pokemon Challenge videos if you want to check those out as well. And if you like this kind of content and want to see more, be sure to subscribe and enable notifications so you'll know right away the next time one of these episodes is uploaded. And if you want early access to these videos and to be listed in the credits, please consider becoming a member. And let me know in the comments what other Pokemon you want to see, and I'll probably do it. Next week, we're heading back to Johto to find out if I can beat Pokemon Crystal using only one Corsola. Anyways, until next time,